Hey you, and welcome. And in this video we're going to Leap Castle, supposedly the most haunted castle in Ireland. Yeah, what he said. Leap Castle is located in the middle of Ireland, in County Offaly. And it has the reputation of being the most haunted place in Ireland. So, covering unsolved mysteries and the like, I decided to take a trip. Leap Castle was built sometime in the 1200s by the O'Carroll clan, who ruled the surrounding area. Like the Red Wedding, the O'Carrolls hired mercenaries who, after winning a battle for them, were over as guests for a feast, at which they were murdered at the O'Carrolls' dinner table in Leap Castle. The O'Carrolls were then driven out and the castle was taken by a British family, the Darbys. And so life at the castle just kind of went on until it was burnt down in 1922 during the Irish Civil War. It is currently owned by Sean Ryan, who bought the castle in the 90s. It's privately owned and he is restoring it himself. But let's get into the real mystery, you know, the good stuff. The hauntings of the castle.
That's it. That's what it's in a car and then proceed to drive at about 7 miles.
Part of the castle which has not been rebuilt is called the Priest's House, in which strange shadows have been seen moving back and forth. One of the spirits encountered from the time of the Darbys is known as the Red Lady. She has been described as a very tall woman, clothed in a red dress. She has been seen carrying a dagger in her hand, raised in a menacing manner. People encountering this spirit have commented on a strange cold filling the room. It is thought that the woman was captured by an O'Carroll. After giving birth, the baby was then killed, after which the woman killed herself. A guest of the Darbys who was staying at the castle wrote this account in the Occult Review. I was in my bedroom about 11 p.m. During the night, the time was 12:45 a.m., I felt that I was awakened by somebody in the room. It was pitch dark, and at first I could see nothing. I was wide awake, with an extraordinary cold feeling at my heart that rapidly increased in intensity. Almost immediately I felt, as much as saw, that there was a tall figure in the middle of the room. "What is it?" I asked. There was no answer, but now I could see, dimly at first, and with increasing distinctiveness, that the tall figure was clothed from head to foot in red, and with its right hand raised menacingly in the air. As the figure advanced towards me, I could see distinctly that the form was that of a very tall woman holding some sort of weapon, a knife or a dagger, in her hand. I hurriedly struck a match and lit my candle. As the flame of the match and candle illuminated the room, I looked all around. The room was empty. An apparition known only as the murdered woman has also been seen throughout the castle. She has been described only as, "There is a woman with very few clothes and a red cloth over her face. She screams loudly twice and disappears." She has been seen even to this day. One of the more sinister elements of the castle stands at the very top, the Bloody Chapel. I mean, with a name like that. It was named after a bloody feud erupted within the O'Carroll clan in the 1500s to gain control of the clan. Story goes that one member of the family, a priest, was saying mass in the chapel when his brother burst in and ran him through with a sword. The priest has been seen on many occasions in the Bloody Chapel. The spirit has also been seen lurking on the stairway below. Passing drivers have said they have seen lights on in the chapel at night. Also in the Bloody Chapel is the Oubliette, a small chamber located in the corner of the Bloody Chapel. Originally used to store valuables in the event of an attack, the O'Carrolls used this for darker purposes, as a dungeon to throw in their dead or dying. During renovations, 3 cartloads of skeletons were removed from the Oubliette. Now all of these stories are pretty horrifying, But we haven't got to the scariest thing that lives in the castle. The elemental, known as It. Nothing is really known about it, but it is the evilest thing in the castle. Thought to perhaps have been something to do with the druidic site located on the grounds before the castle was built, the elemental stalks the castle. Its appearance differs, but one thing is constant. It is accompanied by a disgusting stench, like sulphur or rotting flesh. One of the Darbys who lived in the castle is said to have practiced the occult, waking it up. This was around the same time the skeletons in the Oubliette were discovered. One encounter goes, 2 hands were laid on my shoulders. I turned around sharply and saw a grey thing standing a couple of feet from me, with its bent arms raised as if it were cursing me. I cannot describe in words how utterly awful the thing was, its very undefinableness rendering the horrible shadow more gruesome. Human in shape, a little shorter than I am. I could just make out the shape of big black holes like great eyes and sharp features. It was thin, gaunt and shadowy in parts. Its face was human, or to be more accurate, inhuman in its vileness, with large holes of blackness for eyes, loose slobbery lips, and a thick saliva-dripping jaw, sloping back suddenly into its neck. Nose it had none, only spreading, cancerous cavities. Its eyes, which seemed half decomposed and looked incredibly foul, stared into mine, and a horrible smell which came up to my face, filling me with nausea. Regarding another sighting, one wrote, "I saw your eyes fixed upon something above our heads, and the next minute my own eyes were filled by the sight of a thing in the gallery looking down at us." One of the more recent encounters was in 2006. I looked into the darkness of a corridor that exited the spiral stairway. I became aware of the smell of sulphur. It was as if boxes and boxes of matches had suddenly been lit at once. I looked at my friend who had taken me to visit Leap Castle. He could also smell the sulphur. I stared into the darkness of the corridor and had the impression that a beast, like a bear or a lion, was staring back at me. The tension was rising like a ticking time bomb. My friend then closed the door and said to let sleeping dogs lie. He was a friend of Sean Ryan, and I certainly did not want to disrespect either of them by stirring up the elemental. I can smell sulphur. I can't see anything down there. Here's one more story regarding It. While working as a furniture restorer as part of a crew, they took a job at Leap Castle. After visiting the castle the first day to get a feel of the place, they went back to the B&B they were staying at to start the next morning. However, one of the crew forgot some expensive equipment and had left it outside. Realizing that, well, it was expensive, this person went back to retrieve it as it was getting late. While outside the castle looking for the bag of equipment, he heard a sound coming from the ruined structure to the left of the castle. He then spots the bag and heads back to his car, which was parked at the end of the road. The door was open and the seats wet. While trying to figure out what was going on, he was hit with a horrendous smell. Driving back to the B&B, he comes across a dog in the middle of the road. Taking it to a nearby house where presumably it lived, it started sniffing the car, and then freaked out. He leaves the dog near the house and walks back to the car. The door was open again, and the smell was back. He then notices the bag is gone. Thinking maybe in confusion he left the bag back at the castle as he was confused about his car in the first place, he went back to the castle. And he finds the bag near where his car had been parked. Then the smell comes back again, and he hears someone shout behind him. He then can vaguely make out someone lurching down the road toward him. walking strangely as if their legs were springs with its arms raised. He sprints toward the castle, and the smell becomes even stronger. As it starts raining, he opens the door into the castle. He looks out the window and sees something on all fours, but it seemed to be very hunched over, with blackish greenish skin and scraggly patches of hair down one side of its face. Its face itself looked a bit like a pig, but with a human mouth and very piercing eyes. And it was staring straight at him. He then hears wet, slapping footsteps above him in the castle, and sees a flickering light like a candle out the window. The smell became even stronger, and he saw a shadow approach him, one that seemed to unfold and raise its arms, clenching and unclenching. At this point he sprinted out the door. And, well, let's just say he didn't go back to work the next day. Sean Ryan, the current owner and restorer, is a very nice man. He told us the full history of the castle and even played music for us. It's his house and he lives there. When I asked him about the ghosts, this is what he said.
We weren't supposed to be Jews. Well, lots of spirits in the house, yeah.
Really?
Lots of spirits in the house, really?
Yeah.
You ever seen any yourself?
Oh, we do all the time, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We hear them, we see them. There's even a lady we meet mostly down here that touches people. A lot of our visitors experience that. Mostly down here, but not always. We meet her up the tower as well.
And are they all friendly, or?
Oh God, yeah. Well, we wouldn't be here if there was any negative stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
No, it's all good.
Now, Leap Castle was very, very scary. I'm not sure if I believe in ghosts, but it was really eerie, and I'm gonna be honest, I definitely would not spend time there alone, and I definitely wouldn't go near it at night. Some places were extremely cold. Like, it's an old castle, so parts of it are gonna be cold. No such thing as insulation. But it was weirdly cold in some places, and I did actually smell sulfur while looking into a basement place, which was weird, but who knows. Walking around there, it wasn't hard to imagine the stories that I just told you, that these things could happen there. Whether or not the stories I told were true, I don't know. Ghost stories, urban legends. But these stories, they aren't recent events. The haunting of the castle has been documented for over 100 years. And it certainly has more than enough dark history to warrant those hauntings. If you're ever out that way, take a gander for yourself. I'd recommend it. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Also, a special thank you to my patrons. They made this stuff possible. And yeah, I'll see you as always next time. All the best, Mike out.